What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Don't Forget About Me, the Supernova version, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, let's take a look at SPS, currently sitting under a penny, and I mean the entire market is down, but I think we were all expecting this for SPS at some point. But what I really want to focus on is the amount of SPS that has been burned. Now, people might have started at different points. I started for Conclave Arcana when we were at about 134 million SPS. So you can see that we are quickly approaching 95 million SPS. I mean, all in all, once we get to 234, that will be 100 million SPS burned by Conclave Arcana. And it's just been a very, very short while. Yet, what are we seeing with the price action for SPS? It's not doing much. Now, I don't want to say that the impact is zero. Obviously, there is an impact there, but it's not doing anywhere what I think people were expecting. And to be honest, I feel like I was kind of saying that this was a major problem that we had for a long time. And I would usually frame it in response to the question of like, should we have an SPS halving, right? Should we reduce the amount of SPS that's coming out? Now, again, I'm not going to get into that part. I've already given my thoughts on it. It's not about the amount of SPS that's coming out. It's about the amount of SPS that is out there in the ecosystem right now. There is still so freaking much of it. And just to prove this to you, right? Like, I mean, we are only up maybe 2x from our all-time low after burning 100 million, almost 100 million SPS in just the past month or so with the Conclave Arcana presale and the launch. So, you know, once we get to 300 million SPS burned, that will be 10% of the total supply. But even still, let's not even worry about the total supply. Let's worry about what's currently circulating, right? Which is only 1.4 billion. So I believe that includes everything that's staked, everything that's off-chain, right? So Hive Engine, Ethereum, and BSC. And then, of course, anything that might be sitting in-game but unstaked, right? So that all adds up to this 1.4 billion SPS, which is still a hell of a lot. And that, and again, that is after... That is after we have burned 228 million. So when will we start reaching critical mass? When will we get to a point where that will actually start to matter more? Again, I don't know. I don't know what the true answer is to that, right? Nobody does. Obviously, we saw that there was not that much liquid. They don't really show that here anymore. There wasn't much liquid to begin with, and maybe we've eaten through all of the liquid SPS, but we're giving out still a ton of SPS every day through all of these pools, right? Ranked, land, staking, and LPs. All of that stuff is still giving out rewards for SPS, which means we're still continuing to dilute SPS. Even though we've burned 228 million, there's still almost 1.4, probably 1.3. 1.4 billion that needs to make its way out into the ecosystem. Now, some of that is tied up and will not be making any kind of distribution or will not be distributed, I should say, without the DAO making a vote on it. Others are, right? And I don't have the full numbers on that. Maybe we can get Clay to do a little bit of a breakdown. But my point with this is that there's still just too much SPS out there. And at the end of the day, what really shows, right, or really moves the price for SPS is always going to be demand. I mean, it doesn't matter how much supply you burn. If there's no demand, it's never going to move up, especially when the supply keeps getting added to every single day. So, that's why I love all these like things about marketing, like, oh, look at how much SPS we burned. And I mean, I'm behind it too, right? So I'm guilty of it too, because it's like, oh yeah, we actually burned a hell of a lot of SPS, but it really just is a marketing tactic. It does not do anything for price in a direct way. The indirect way is through just simple supply and demand, right? If you reduce supply enough and demand increases, then yeah, you can really spike the price of something if there's just not much out there, as we've seen with many other projects out in the ecosystem. But that is just not the case for us right now, even after burning almost another 100 million in the past month or so for Conclave Arcana. Now, I don't want this to come off as like a Debbie Downer video. This is not me trying to just be Papa Bear. I'm just being realistic. 100 million is still a lot. And that was my goal for the entirety of Conclave Arcana, simply because I heard, secondhand from someone saying that we burned about 100 million for Rebellion, which sounds about right. With the flywheel, there wasn't really much action going on before Rebellion started. And then after Rebellion finished, right, we were when Rebellion finished and when we got to the start of Conclave Arcana, we were at about that 134 million mark. So to match that and to do another 100 million will get us to 234. I would say if we can get now, my stretch goal will probably be to 250. I mean, hell, if we can get to 300 million by the end of Conclave Arcana, that will be interesting too. But we have to see how the demand is going to come in for this. The good thing, and I'll close with this just for a little silver lining here, is that DEC remains close to peg, which means we should continue to see more SPS get burned over time. I mean, the team is still sitting on a good amount of DEC, and I really don't know what the velocity is for packs being purchased, whether starter, regular, alchemy, or legendary, but we are seeing that there is enough demand for DEC that it's keeping it close to peg. Now, we'll have to wait and see. Again, we're not even like a month into the Conclave Arcana launch yet. If demand starts to die down, we reach a new equilibrium, what happens with DEC? But, I've talked about this at length, so I don't want to go back too far into it. I'm just saying that the good news so far is that demand continues for DEC, which means we can continue to burn more SPS. And the second silver lining is that if SPS is lower, well, then we end up burning a lot more SPS per dollar burned. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.